Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. Sorry for last week. The recording was no good. I couldn't get it to post. I hope this week will be okay. I'm back in Moscow. Let's see. There are many questions. If you guys keep your questions at the end of the webinar, we take all the questions you have. We can even go up to an hour if you want. I'll take all your questions. Don't worry. So at the very start, a lot of people are asking still about the course materials. The last week I gave the info, but it wasn't recorded, so a lot of people didn't get to see it. For those of you who are waiting for that course, thanks for your patience. It will start on the 4th of September. And I will be sending out the info at the end of this week or early next week for the payments. Right? It's pretty much filled already. So, you know, if there's any space, which means anybody who's registered, decide they're going to take the course but change their mind for time or for whatever reasons, then somebody else could get in. But it's pretty much filled until the next one. It's not really registered. You just have to send me a Skype message and I'll send you the details. And then, you know, from there, pretty much you will have to be in the waiting list because it's pretty much full already, right? So you can Skype me you can still Skype me just to get the info. The next one maybe before the year end or early next year, right? My Skype is MANGAL, all small letters. You can go Mangle457. You should have that because that's where you can send me any messages if you want, right? For those of you who are always looking for the link and can't find it, it's on my Facebook page. I think it's ProWave Trader. You can find that. Somebody will post it for you. And if you guys help share the link, that would be amazing, right? About the course, how the course is structured and, you know, what we do in there. And so I will do that at the end of the webinar for those of you who are interested in it, right? Because some people really believe that, you know, it's like people will be telling me, well, I am a very, you know, senior trader. I've been trading for a lot of years. And can I just join a trading room? The trading room is free, but only for our traders because we use a specific methodology that you don't know. If you're not in my group, you don't know it. That's point blank. You just don't know it. You can never know that. You can only learn that in my group. Nowhere else in the world you're going to get that. The way we teach how to do it, nobody else in the world teaches that way. So you can only learn that in our group. And if you're not in my group, then you can't be in the trading room because you will not understand the way we do it. That's simple. Right? We have rules almost for everything. So it's rule-based. That is why it's easy to transfer. And it still takes us 6 weeks to teach you it. And then the next 6 months to train you doing it properly. All right, let's go. Let's start. Dollar index. Last week we were saying the dollar index, be careful, it's about to turn. So if you're going to trade, any trade you take short term, this one wouldn't have been a good trade if you take that. You're looking for the reversal. And I hope many of you got that reversal because we were looking for it and we got it. So euro, we got the sell. A lot of our traders got the sell in the euro. We got the sell. Euro is still a sell. I still think it's a sell. We're looking for a very big correction, at least back to the trend line. Maybe so. Hopefully, it's going to be something like this and not something like that. Because if it turns out to be something like this, we will get some very nice trades. If it goes sideways, you can get some trades where you're not going to get a lot of trades. So a lot depends on how this comes back to the trend line. It could also, if they break the trend line, we'll be looking for a much bigger correction. As a matter of fact, if they break the trend line, we'll be looking for a trend to the downside, right? So let's go to the 1 hour. I think you can see, for those of you who know how to trade it, there's a possibility they're going to make deeper corrections. Be careful if you're selling immediately. I think they could do something like this, and then you get a trade. So we can probably, more like this here. That was your trade setup, right? So if we get something like that, you get a very nice trade setup today. We're looking for a sell. There is no buys until you break those stops. Pong. I think this was the best one. I keep stressing on this one since last week. Be careful when you see patterns like these. They break and they break very sharp. They break and they break very sharp. When you understand patterns and you see these patterns, you know they're going to break very sharp. And this one actually break. Most of our traders got it from the very top. Those who got it from the very top, they got a second entry here, and some of them will be looking for a third entry here. The third entry here is a risky one. Remember that, because this is probably going to go a little more, and then you might get a deeper correction before it goes. So if you're selling now, you got to be careful. Now, it could drop very often. That fifth part of the wave goes very far. Sometimes it adjusts very short and start going back up. So worst case scenario, you get a break-even trade there. In a good case scenario, you get a good trade that goes, right? You should still take it. and take the risk. It's part of trading. Take the risk. If you do, if you, the worst case, you lose that trade, but if you're lucky, it goes very far, and then you get a deeper correction before you go. So they will make a deep correction. These are very small corrections. They will eventually make a deep correction before they go. But you want to take these small ones because you don't know how many of these more you could get before it's finally, going for the deeper one. So keep your eyes on this. Aussie is coming down. Some of us are in this trade, some of us not in the trade. Some people earlier, some later. You got to watch the Aussie here now. For my traders, put it to break even because there's a good chance they could go back up for one more and then come down. If they keep going down, you're in the trade. As it is right now, you don't have anything to do with it. Aussie, they're all making, as of now, deeper correction. Aussie looks more corrective than the rest of them, right? Aussie looks more like a correction like this. So let's hope that, it keeps going and then we will probably get one more up. If this structure is going to change for downside, at some point, they're going to make something like this. Then we will make a conclusion that this thing is going to go down big time. As of now, it's very corrective. So that means we will be looking for more upside on the Aussie, right? It does not mean Aussie is going to go up. Please, if you're looking at my webinar or if you understand the way I look at structures, if it goes up or it comes down 20, 30 pips is not what we're looking at. We're looking at the structure itself. So if it's not for trading, it's for understanding where the direction is going to go. Then you decide that if it starts to go in that direction, should I be in a trade like the pound? Let me stress that. I want to go back here because there's, some people just can't leave you alone. They have to troll. And there's one guy in the chart saying, hey, but this guy keeps saying this thing is going to go down. Well, it's going down. That's what I keep saying. Be careful because it's going to fall. That is the point. You understand when these structures are going to change. Now, I'm not saying it's going to change right here. What I'm saying, when it starts to make that pattern, watch it to the top here. Because this could have, they could have made one more wave up. But that doesn't mean you don't sell it here. And that doesn't mean when you see that they're going to go down, you don't sell it there and you don't sell it there. Right? If they were going to make one more up, that drop would not have happened that way. It would have happened differently. And then I would have said, okay, one more up, then the big drop. Right? It depends how the structure develops. And if you don't understand that, then probably this is not your thing. At least the way we teach it. It's not your thing. Go back to support and resistance. So come back to this chart. Don't just troll the chart. Just leave our webinars alone and go back to support and resistance because you have no idea. Right? This is what it's amazing that you leave TradingView and some people just can't leave you, right? They still follow you all over wrong, right? You're not there, they still follow you wrong. So watch this. You don't have a trade set up. And if they pull back deep, we will get a very nice trade. If they go sideways, sell it. If they make flags, sell it. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm a magnet to them. Maybe they like me a lot, so they can't, they have to follow me around. Not like I'm following them around, right? So watch this. If you get a flag, we sell. But if you get an up move, we will look for a downside. Actually, I'll show you what the up move would look like on the yen because we have it on the yen. New Zealand, downside, and we are breaking the trend. If the New Zealand is any, let me show you the New Zealand and the daily, because if the New Zealand is any indication of what all the majors will do, we may get very, very deep downside. Now, if this break confirms, this break here to confirm, if we get a pullback somewhere in here, this will take you about a week. If you get a corrective structure that goes up back there, maybe at the end of this week, it starts, end of next week, this will be a big move to the downside. So far, all we have is one move to the downside. So we need that to confirm. What we are getting here now is one move to the downside. That's this. We need that correction there. And if we get that correction, we get a bigger move down. So right now, we are in the sell. And it's going excellent. We can't ask for better than that. It's going very good. Remember this pattern? I said that thing will go down. Don't miss that trade. I hope none of you missed it. Got to pull back, going down, make another flag, sell, make another flag, sell, and then watch for the bigger correction. This bigger correction, you can buy in it if you understand how the structure works. If you don't, wait until it starts to drop and sell again. Right? So this is just one impulse going down so far on a higher time frame. So they're all maybe changing direction for much bigger move to the downside. Yen Yen still has one little piece to go. Remember, we said yen was going to come tag this low. Well, they're correcting here now. That is okay. You see they make corrections in the middle. Sometimes they make even bigger corrections. I don't think we're going to get a big one like that. This is the big three wave I was telling you about on the Aussie. You may get a small one like that. So I think we are right now in some kind of a small one here. And then we're going to see this drop. And then we're going to get that move up. Right? So wait for this to finish if you can trade it. We traded it up and we made it really great in that. We're looking for this downside, and then we'll be looking for that upside. So let me show you the trade we took actually on this one. It was an amazing trade. We actually, I hope a lot of you saw this. We bought it here. Anybody took that trade? Because we took that in our trading room. That one just went perfect, right? So I hope a lot of you got it because that one was excellent. We got a lot of them, but this one was the best one. The risk to reward on it even was great. So keep your eyes on this. There's another one to come down. There's a sell set up here now. I think all of you can see that, right? If it breaks, take the trade. If it doesn't break and they crawl up higher, you still get a sell setup, but it will be a different sell setup. It wouldn't be a breakout trade, right? So great. I see a lot of you are learning. That's good. That's the point. That's the whole point of this webinar, to make sure that you don't miss these trades. Right? So you got a nice sell setup making right now. I think it's going to be amazing. Keep your eyes on it, especially in the Asian session. They could drop, or if there's a news event. Now, they could crawl up a little more like that. It doesn't matter. Let them crawl up. You're not interested in that upside. You're interested in this downside. Even if they break the top, better yet, you got a better fall coming. Right? So we're expecting one more downside. Unless we see a change of structure, it's a good one. What you have to be careful of is if they fall like this and they stop here. Move your trade into profit, because then they could go back up. If they complete the three-wave structure like this and it stops here, they could go back up. Right? So that is when you want to be careful. But there's a good chance they're going to drop all the way back to this level because there's more downside in the yen. We're now in a consolidation. CAD, remember I said CAD will have to correct this thing before we get interested in it. Remember, I was looking at this and watch this is going to go up. Then we'll get interested in the CAD. Well, the CAD is actually doing that now. Now, how high would this go? I would like them to come to about a 50 fib, and then we get a really nice trade to the downside. So I think CAD may have some more upside. It might be a very, slow consolidation type pattern. So right now, as you see, if you look at this, this was a good trade. That if you're in that trade, you want to put the break even, they could make something like this. And if they do something like that, we'll get one more up. So which means CAD will have to start making bigger corrections for upside, because this correction is a bigger one. This is the big correction we need to get before we take long-term trades on the CAD. Remember, all the CAD sells were short-term for the same reason that we didn't have the big correction. Now, when you get the big correction, all the trades you take after that would be long-term. So right now, it's not over. It's just the start of the correction. This thing will take a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe more, before you eventually get the next fall. You can still trade these corrective zones. They're huge. If this thing is going to correct between this bottom and the 50 fib, if we're going to be trading within this and the 50 fib, that could be very, very, very big trade. You could get something like that, pull back more like here, go back again like that, and eventually go. So these are good zones to trade in if they stay within that zone. Depends on what the corrective structure will look like. But you're going to get a lot of small trades in between. Just take them 50, 60 pips. Take it, take your profit, get out, wait for the big move, right? Swiss. I think this one was pretty easy also. Swiss touched the bottom, pull up. So now you're going to watch Swiss. I think they're crawling up like this. And if they get to the top like that, they'll make a deep pullback before they go. So let's look at what Swiss is doing. It's upside. I think this was pretty clear. The upside is dying out, as you can see. You may even get a sell setup here. It's very small. I don't think you want to take this. You want to take the yen. If you get this setup, you may want to take the yen because it could stop here. If they stop there, you get one more push up. Buy it. Right? If this correction here becomes a flag, like this was a flag, this here was a small flag, this was a flag. If this becomes a flag, they don't break the structure, you can buy. If they break the structure, let them come back deep and then look for the buy. They're still going to go up. The structure is still going up. It may just make a big sideways move. But right now it's going back to the trend line. They're going back to this top. So if they make a nice correction here, you got a better trade to the top there. If you're in from the bottom, great. You can make two choices right now. You can get out of the trade for profit and then re-enter, or you can put it to break even and live with that. If you're lucky, it takes off. If you're unlucky, they come take you out for break even, then go back up, right? So two things you need to watch, but it's a good trade. I think there's a nice chance they're going to come back to the top, and then we'll see where they go from there. Euro Oz. Remember we said you got to watch the Euro Oz at this level? Well, that's where I closed my trade, and I'm still looking to buy it again. So where am I looking to buy it from? If they break out of this structure, I'll be buying. As long as they stay under here, there is a chance they're going to go lower. So it all depends on how they're going to play within this structure. So let's look at the structure itself. This is what we're looking at. We've got to move up. Remember, all of you know we were trading that up. We traded this down. And now you can actually look for trades set up for downside if they come again, because there's a very good chance they can come one more down. So if you get a setup at the top there, if you get a very good setup at the top there, you can take the sell. But if they stay at the top there, which means you don't get a setup, they don't come, they just consolidate right at the top there like this, then this one will be a big trade to the upside. And don't miss that trade. Let me stress to you again, if you miss that trade, you'll regret it, because that trade is going to take off. You may even want to put an entry order, because that trade, if that thing takes off, it's not only breaking out of this structure here, it's going for a big move to retest this top. And that move could be pretty fast. I really mean that one could move fast. For me, the better trade is if they come back here. Sorry, not there. If they come back to this level and then decide to go, because I'm going to be buying it from here. I already took profit and I'm looking to make some more on this, right? So let's see. If they break, I'll still be in the trade, but I would like them to come back to the low here before they go. And that could happen. So keep your eyes on this. We can't say for sure if they're going to make the low, but there is a possibility for them to make that low. In any case, if you have an entry order here, you don't have to worry. Right? If you keep an entry order there and they take off, you're in good business. If they come back down, well, you can take it out and then we can look for the trade from here to the upside. Let's see. It's not possible to tell whether this correction has that one more, but there's a likelihood that it has it. Euro in New Zealand. Remember I said you could take that buy. If you took it, you did well. I'm not interested in this one here now because I'm not sure that one is going to go very far. We may get some corrections. So we thought this trade here is going to go only to about this level and then probably come back and go, but they actually took off. So if you're in the trade, you actually broke this top, which makes this now, 1, a contracting flat in here, 2, and you're going. This could still go some more. And actually this could take off. But we don't have enough, reasons to think it's going to take off, because as you can see, this is not going very aggressive. Put in the 1 hour, you're going to see we're getting some divergence in there. So if they make a flag here, and I think this is what's going to help you. See that little flag there? If they make a little flag here, this would be a good trade. Take it. If they reverse from there, you can look for sell setups. But you really want to take the flag if they make a flag. If they just come out of it, it's not the best trade. But if they make a flag, it becomes a very, very good trade. And remember, New Zealand just broke the daily structure to the downside. So if New Zealand continues to go, this thing is going to take off. And if this thing takes off, remember, you want to be in it. There's a reason you want to be in that trade. And that is this. See that? Because if this takes off, you really, really want to be in that trade. So look for a way, wait for that flag, and then you can take the trade. If they pull back, no problem. Let them pull back. We'll go. We'll look for the next setup from a lower point. So if you get a flag there, buy it. Right? Euro yen. This one we keep saying it's going to come back down. And as you can see, every time they go up, they pull back, they go up, they pull back, they go up, they pull back. Now, can they go up one more? I think they can do that, but they'll still come back here. And these structures, if they do that, eventually break to the downside, at least to this level. And then we can see if there's more upside or if there's a continuation to the downside. So what you're going to do here now is you can wait for a sell setup like this. That's your trade. Let's put it in the 1 hour. You have 2 trade setups to look for. First trade setup would be this trade. That is if this flag's here, that flag break out, you can put an entry order, you get that trade if you know how to trade that. If you don't know how to use entry orders correctly, you probably want to wait for them to break out, take that trade to the upside, and then wait for the next down move. If you don't get the next down move, well, you got to be careful of it. They start to break here, you'll get the trade somewhere like that. So two possibilities right now. Wait for one of them. Don't trade it. We took the trade while it's inside there, but you have to get it and get out. So watch that trade there. Watch the one to the downside back to this level. Which way? Even if they go up, they'll still come down. There are very rare cases when they break out of these channel structures they have and then keep going. It's extremely rare. Most of the time, you'll see them break the channel to the downside, come to this level, and then go back. So keep your eyes on that one. EuroCAD. EuroCAD broke the top again. No trade setup there. You don't have anything to do. This was more of a sell setup that some of our traders would have got. This was a sell. If you're looking for this as a sell, they actually broke the top. You don't have a trade. Don't trade it when it is like that because they'll come down back. That's not a setup for trading, right? You have to wait on this. Actually, you see the divergence showing up here. This could start to come back down. For me to trade it, they have to make a corrective structure like that, more like a flag before I get into the trade. Otherwise, to that, if you're buying at the top there because it's breaking something, then you're going to watch it reverse to you. And don't be surprised if this happens. If that happened, I hope you have a strategy to trade. So on the 1 hour, let's see if we're going to get any strategy to trade there. You will have to wait. Wait for a pullback, wait for a flag, and then get into the trade. Right? Let them prove they're going to go down. Right now, nothing, no trade. You have to wait for this to make a big corrective structure or flag here before you take any trade. So some of them, you don't have anything. You just have to leave them alone. Euro Swiss, same thing. We're looking for a break of this, but this is not looking very aggressive. This is looking more like a flag here. That means you can get more upside short term. The upside is not a good buy, but if they make an upside, what you want them to do is make an up trade here and then start to go down. And this would be a good sell, right? If we get that. Put it in the 4 hour. I think there's more correction because they've made so much move to the upside that there is more correction coming here. So if you're a short-term trader, look for the, let them go up a little and then look for the sell setup, not the buy. This is likely going to go more downside. All the Euro pairs are showing more downside. Euro Pong also making a new high. So let's put that in the Euro Pong. The daily structure is not changed. Let me stress it again. Every time you get a buy here, until we break this top, let me just put it up. Until we break that top, this daily structure is still looking downside. They have to break that top before it's convincingly not downside anymore, right? So let's look at this. If you took that trade and this was a possible trade, you have to take profit. Because if you don't take profit, they can reverse. If you're trying to buy this one, which I don't assume you want to do, but if you buy that, remember all the Euro pairs are breaking tops. If you're trying to buy that, you better get it to break even. So that the worst case scenario is you get a break even because there's a good chance this thing could come back to the low here. And that would be a good trade. That would be a good trade because there's a possibility that that trade could break down. If you get more upside, let's say they only come to about this level and start to go back up, you can buy for that trade to go retest the top. Now, I don't think they will go retest the top, but if they go retest the top, you take the trade and you take profit. You get out with profit. You're still in the sell and you're asking if you can keep it. That's a bad idea to still be in the sell so long because we got out for break even, 2 break evens in that trade, no problem. No big deal. If you're still in the sell, depends on where you're to sell from. If you're in this sell here, probably want to put a stop somewhere. You don't want to live with a trade too long because then you're getting attached to the trade and not the whole trading that you do. So here's what I'm going to do. A lot of traders make that mistake. They don't understand what is risk to reward, what is money management and all that stuff. So if all of you have the time after this webinar, I'll spend about 10 minutes and go through that pretty fast. Right? So you'll have to give me 10 minutes and I'll give you an idea why you don't want to keep trades like that because they're not going to do any good to you. Right? Those who want to wait could wait. Those who have to go, well, you can watch a recording. Pause coming down. Remember, we watched this, but now they're looking like they may want to make one to the upside. You see, they're breaking this structure. If they keep doing it like this, they'll break out. So at this point, we will watch. This point is dangerous to trade because if they make a correction here, they're going to go more up. But if they break again here, they'll probably make a flag. And then if they make a flag here, we'll all sell. Right? With Pong going down, there's a likelihood this thing will go down more. But watch it, once they start doing that, you know, there's a good chance they'll come higher here. I think I showed you guys this. We were looking for, last week we were looking for them to go up some more. Remember, they did go up some more. They could actually go back one more and then come down, right? We're still in the downtrend. So we're still in that corrective structure. And we're still looking for the downside. So if they go back up, better for us. We have a better trade. If they're going to break through this structure here, look for a sell setup. If they're going to break through there, look for a sell setup. But just be careful. If you don't understand these structures, stay away from them because this could go back up. Right? Pound New Zealand, pretty much this one went up. So you're looking for a sell setup. Let me just show you. This is consolidating. See, this is your impulse. This is consolidating here. You're looking for that trade. You can try to get it from the top every time. If you get it, you're lucky. You get it the right time. You know the right way you get it. If you don't, then stay out of it. Right now, you don't have any trade to do here. Why? Because it's in the middle of nowhere. It could go up. It could come down. And it doesn't have a setup for a buy or sell. If they make a setup for a buy or sell, well, then you can do that. But right now, you don't have any setup for either way. So if you take the trade, you have a 50% chance you're going to be right. If you buy, 50% chances go up. If you sell, 50% chances go. But that's not a strategy to trade. That's a good guess. That's flipping coins, right? So if you want to do that, go ahead. But that is not sustainable. You can't you can't become a successful trader doing things like that. You may win a trade, but you're not going to be a successful trader in the long term. Pong Yen, we're looking for sales. I think this is pretty clear, right? I don't think this is enough. Let them make a deeper correction here, and then you probably go. You look for the sell. We'll get a nice trade. If they don't, well, you have to wait. I still think there's more correction to come. So don't jump in this sell too early. Wait for the correction. Pong Chief, you can actually sell this. We sold this already. We are in the sell. Actually, we were in the sell from this breakout. I don't know how many of you are in the sell from there, so we can move that to break even now. Because if they start to make a channel at the bottom here, they're eventually going to go back up. See? So you want to move to break even. For our traders, let that be a break even trade in the worst case scenario. We can already claim break even. But if they keep going down and we think they're going to go down big time, right? I do think this thing is coming down big time. That's the reason I'll put it to break even and keep it. All of you remember this one. I sold that one. I got rid of it there. I sold this one. I got rid of that for break even, right? I think not this one. We sold this, we sold that, and now we're selling here. First sell was a break-even trade. Second sell, small profit. Third sell, if we're lucky they come here, it's going to be a break-even trade. The worst case scenario is going to be a break-even trade. We're still looking for one big trade to the downside. And if you keep asking me, like, why are you saying downside when it's going up? Please look at the chart. Let me show you that chart. That chart was posted 1 year ago. So if you're first time here, you're going to see it the first time, but it's posted a year ago. No, not this one. This one is actually the late one. Let's show you the earlier one, this one. There are two charts that was posted. This one was posted since 6th of March, 2016. See that? And we anticipated this thing to come down, retest this low. We said it's going to break out of this structure and it's going to come down and it's going to retest that low. Right? That was a year ago. So where are we right now? I think you can see we broke. We said this is going to correct and it's going to come down again. And I think we're doing well, right? This was the structure we broke. From here, that's the trade. We came down. We're making corrections. We're still looking for downside to come and test this low. So we keep looking for sell setups. If you get two breakout, one win, you wait for another trade and you sell again. So we're in the sell and let's see how this goes. It's that simple. It's not difficult. Trading is not. I'm not interested in that buy. It moves very fast. I'm not interested in it because you will not get it, and you don't know that it's going to go that far, right? So sometimes you just have to, look at what the charts are doing, look what the trades are doing, and then make your decision what you want to do, which is the direction you want to go. Where is the bigger trade? Because you're not going to get every single move in the chart. But if this comes down, well, great. If they go back up, I may not get a buy, but I'll look for a sell again. And if they start to fall, I should be in that fall. Punkat, pretty much sell setup too. I think you can see this, put it in a 1 hour. They're making a structure there. If they break, you will get a sell setup. This sell setup should take you back to this low. You should try move it into profit and keep it to come back and retest this low. Right? Because there's a good chance that we're in a big downtrend and they will come back to retest this area. At least you will get one more move down. That will give you enough profit. You can move your stop into profit. And if they keep going, stay with it. If they turn, you get taken out and you get that profit. That's okay. It's part of trading. 1 hour. Watch for a sell setup. Can they go up some more? I think so. You don't have a buy setup. That's it. You should not be buying in this. Aussie yen. You're getting a sell setup, but it's not the best trade. This is the trade you're looking for. It's a short-term trade. If you're interested, not a bad idea. Right? A very short-term trade. So keep your stops here just in case it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. When it starts moving to this bottom, move it to break even. CAD yen. Okay, this one is gone for those of you who are looking for it. This is gone, so you'll have to wait. We're getting some divergence here. So if they start to make a move to the upside, we'll look for a buy. If this makes a sharp move and pull back, we'll look for a buy setup, right? Now, whether the buy setup is going to go all the way to the top here, we don't know, but it could give you a buy. You can see that they may make just something like this and then come back down. So you can buy this, you can buy that, you can buy this, and then look for the downside, right? It's about to give you a buy setup. Because we got a lot of divergence in here. So you start looking for that setup to the upside. These structures tend to break to the upside. So keep your eyes on it. Swiss yen, stay out of this. You're getting a nice sell setup, but stay out of it. It's not a good trade. New Zealand yen. This sell is gone. This goes with the New Zealand. If you're looking for a sell, you're supposed to get it somewhere at the top there. We're in a downtrend, so any pullback now you can sell. Any flag you get is a sellable one, sell it. Right? Any corrective structure you get and you can sell it. It's going good and it's breaking the structure, you're breaking the daily structure. So you could come back pretty deep. You could come back all the way to this low. Right? So good trading. Aussie, New Zealand, pushing up higher. We started to go down and they're making a higher push. If you're looking for a buy, let them make a flag here. And then you buy one more impulse, take profit. Until they break this top, take profit. If you're looking for a sell, you can't, 1 second, let me just reset mine. Okay, you can't sell it until you break this structure here. So if they reverse, break that structure, we have a trade back to the low. Now, I think they will break the structure, because we're still expecting them to come and break this low, right? So we're looking at this as a pullback to come down and do this. So if they break, that's a trade you don't want to miss. Would it go very fast? I don't know. Will it go very slow? Maybe. Actually, if they go very slow, I'll be happier, because then the buy that I'm looking for from the bottom here is much bigger. And I think I've shown all of that to all of you. I'll just review it for those who are, new to the room. The buy we're looking at would be this buy. This one here, from this low all the way to that top. That is the buy we'll be looking for. So we want this thing to go down back to that low. Get back to this low here, and then we'll start the buying. At this point, I'm not interested in the buy. Let me see if they go down. Aussie Chief. It's consolidating right now. I'm not sure if you want to trade this. It's not the best trade, but it looks like you're going to get one small move up more. Not very aggressive. Take this out. If you took the sell, I think we were looking for a sell last week. If you took the sell, you probably take it off a break even. It's not. You can only sell if they break this. If they break this structure, then this is a sell setup. If they go above here, it's a small trade. They'll break the top and come back down. It's a small trade. You can take it. You'll get about 50 pips. You have to get in, take your profit, get out, right? But to the downside will be a next one. I think we can get it to the 88 because 78.6 already broken. So we're looking for the 88 and the Aussie New Zealand there. Aussie CAD. It's kind of going up, but it's not going very aggressive, right? You see, this is going very slow. So probably stay out of this. It still looks downside, but it's making a deeper correction. So I'll take this out and I'll pull this one, right? This is not going very aggressive. So there isn't the buy setup in there. You can see that, right? You don't want to buy in something that's moving like that. But if they start breaking, this structure here, we'll wait for a flag and then we'll sell it. Right? If they don't give you a flag, well, you don't have anything to do there. Just leave it alone. New Zealand CAD will have similar structure. They did break the top. We expect them to break the top and reverse. It looks like we might get that reversal. So if you get a flag here in a 1 hour, sell this. Let's see if we have a 1 hour flag there. They may be making one right now. So if this makes a flag here, take that trade because it's going to break down. This would be some kind of a running flat, and then we'll watch it go down some more. So this looks like a sell setup, and with New Zealand continuous slow drip to the downside, it's probably going to go. New Zealand Swiss, very similar structure. If you got in this earlier, you're going to good sell. If not, wait for a pullback and sell to the trend line. Sell all the way back to this trend line. Right, they've already made the correction, and they're coming down. I think this is clear, right? So you can look for this trade here. You get a flag here, you get a pullback, you sell it. You get a pullback, you sell it. All the way back to this level. Wait for it. It's probably going to happen, right? Go into 1 hour, wait for that flag, and then trade it. Silver, remember I said it's going to break down? It's going to break that channel down. If you remember, I even show you what it should look like. We were expecting it to look something like this, and then probably go back up. Because we had that structure previously, which is very similar to this one. Well, they broke down. Watch them. They're probably going to go there. They'll probably come lower. I'm looking to buy 50. I'm looking to buy 618, and I'm looking to buy the low. I closed my trade in here. My buys were closed. Once we saw that, I decided I'm going to close. We still have the buys on the bigger account, the account that is trading without leverage. But on my account, I closed it there. So we still have buys that we took from at the bottom here somewhere, and we will still put more entry because we're looking for that big breakout on the bigger account. The bigger account is very long term, and we were expecting this thing to break out of here, at least at this level, somewhere around 24, 26 maybe. And then if they're going to go down or if they're going to continue to go up, they'll probably make a correction here and then go. A correction, then go. So you could probably end up with something like this, come back here, and then 10, 15 years in this thing here. It's very long term, but we will not keep the trade that much. Right? If you're buying huge volume, you can keep it for a while. So everybody should have, if you understand how we trade silver, you should have an entry order at the 618 and one at the low, one at this low. And wait to see what is going to happen, right? If you're lucky, you get some very nice trade. This spike down, take you in and pull you up back. Short-term buys, there's a short-term buy setup here if you want it. This is very short-term. Right, that is this piece here. You can buy that to this level back, and then they will probably keep going down. But take this buy because if you're lucky, they spike out. Right now, we're looking at it as a short-term buy because we think it's going to go. Yep, we think the silver consolidation will go on for the next 10 years, sideways. The first consolidation that the silver had after the big spike took 20-something years. If you didn't see that, go back and look at the charts. It took 20-something years. We were only in this consolidation for about 4 or 5 years. So probably we have a next 10, 15 years in it before you get the next big spike, which will go above 60. So that is if the patterns are showing us something that will repeat itself. If not, it could go up earlier, but I don't think it's going to. That doesn't mean you stop trading, right? There's a lot of good trades in it within a couple thousand pips range, right? Within, I don't know, within 14 to 20. That's a lot of trading you can do there, right? And then eventually it's going to take off to 60. So you can still trade very well. Actually, it's much easier if you have to trade within that range. It becomes much easier for you if you think about it, right? If you know that it's going to fluctuate between those two ranges, it gets to the top, you sell. It gets to the bottom, you buy. Gold, very similar. You got a correction. We were expecting it. You're going to probably get a next correction here. That's a short-term trade up, and then they're going to come back down, right? So let's see what gold is doing in the 4 hour. Yep. I think that's a correction. That's just a correction. You probably get some more here, some more there, and then go. But you can start taking the buys because this one will go up eventually if you know how to do it. Take a 1 hour. On the 1 hour, you have a buy setup right now. I think you can all see this, right? In a 1 hour, there's a buy setup on gold here. And hopefully if you see this one, they spiked it up. So you may get lucky and they may spike it up like that. Right? If you're lucky, that's not a bad trade actually. Right? They did the same thing here. They made a wick, pull back, go. They made a wick, pull back, go. This is a very good trade. Right? If they repeat what they did here, you get that trade. So was it going to repeat itself? I have no idea. But if it breaks, you can look for the trade. Oil, you're getting a sell setup on oil, but you really want to be careful with this thing. We don't know what this thing is doing yet. Every time you see a triangle, there are 3 options. I'm not going to go into what those 3 options are and why they are structured that way. But every time you see a triangle, look for a buy on the break, look for a sell on the break. The third option is a sell too, but that's a long process. Explaining why and how these structures develop. So right now, I'm looking for the sell part of it. I think we're going to come down one more. Right now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, give me one more sell to this level. And then tell us if you're breaking here or if you're going to go back up. Right? Because we're still within the channel or the trend to the downside. We're still within this daily trend to the downside. I'll put it in the day. And like I said last week, it's making a very, 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 very complicated, complex pattern that we don't have enough information to decide what exactly is it. It's not complete. There are some completed parts, but the whole thing is not complete. So right now, you can look for this buy, or you can look for this sell, and if you're lucky, that sell breaks back to the low. Right? So you're in that little triangular pattern in the middle there on the 4 hour, that little piece there. And if it breaks to the top, you buy. If it breaks to the bottom, you sell. This is easy stuff, right? One side it will break to, and then you take the trade. Gold will not test the lower 1205 again. Why you want gold to test there? You have a sell at that level, 1205. Oh, test this level. I don't see that happening nowhere. I don't see that happening. Why would you want it to come back to this level? You sold it there. You're bad luck. Remember, we were saying watch this thing to be 1, 2, 3. Come test this low, break the low, and then go back up. Go back and check out my webinar. You're going to see that's what I was showing you. This is a 1, this is a 1, 2, 3, and this is going back up. So what I think they're doing right now is they're making a little consolidation in the middle here to continue up. I don't think this is coming back here. I don't see a structure whereby that is possible. And maybe it happens, but remember, we read the structure based on what you have now. Right? I can only make my forecast based on the past, based on what I have in the past. So when it made this one, made that one, and started to come down, we said, okay, we looked at this as an expanding flat. Possible, come break the low and then go back up. It's doing exactly that. That was our forecast then. And it's doing exactly that. So what I think it's going to do, I think this is going to come break this top here, this top. And then there is a possibility for them to retest this low, even lower than you wanted. But can you survive this? And do you know if that is not going to continue to go? That's something we don't know. That's the unknown. We will know that as this structure starts to develop to the upside. But right now, I think this is a small correction for more upside. So if you have a sell at that level, you want to pray that it comes to the 618, somewhere here, the 618 of this move, and you get out of it. It's absolutely the wrong place to be selling. Right? So you probably look for a buy. And looking at this here, this looks like it's going to go. And if they break out of this, there's no stopping it all the way to the top. So you want to be careful. By the way, even if you sold here, this is what I don't get. If you sold here, you'd be selling the break of this. You'll probably sell here. Your stop should be here. You should never keep, you see they're breaking the structure, you should get the hell out of that as fast as you can. As a matter of fact, I would not even get out there. If I sold it here and I see they drop here, they do this and they're making that flag, I'm out of the trade. Because what that flag tells me is they're going to go up. And what this flag tells me is they're going up. And what this flag tells me is they're going up. I'm out of the trade. So sometimes you get trapped in a trade like that at the bottom, right? It was a perfect flag. You sold it. It tagged you. It started to go and now it started to pull back. You should have a stop. You should have a plan before you take the trade. What's your plan, right? That's something we're going to talk about at the end of this webinar. Stick around. You'll probably learn something. Oil, downside, UK oil, downside, same thing. They both have similar structures, right? So you can see similar structure. We don't know what those triangles are going to turn out to be, right? One of three options, all triangles go, right? If you're scared of losing, stop trading. Anybody who's scared of losing, stop trading. It's not your thing, right? If you're scared of losing any trade or taking a loss, not even losing, taking a loss. I call taking a loss. Losing is when you're losing your account in general. Take a loss. It's just one loss. You're not losing anywhere, right? You're still winning the bigger game. Keep taking losses. As long as your account grows, keep taking losses. That's okay. 1, 2 small losses will not break your account, right? So right now, natural gas, you may get a sell setup here. You can see this. It's in a big sideways move, and you probably want to stay out of it if, you know. I do think this thing could come a little lower, but watch it because we're in this big sideways here. And it's not going very aggressive, right? It's not going very aggressive. Copper, same thing, not much to do here. It's going up, but not a very good buyer, not a very good, even on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, you're not really getting good trade setups. So probably stay out of it. See, you can buy into something like that. It looks like a corrective structure, but just leave it alone. When it's not giving you good setups to buy into, just leave them alone. Nifty is at the top, and you want to start look for sell setups. Every time they get to top like that, they get to the top, they get to the top, they get to the top, you know, you want to start look for this thing to come back at least to the low. And if they break out, you're in a good trade, right? Because at some point, it will break out. Now, if this comes back to this low and make one more high, don't go on my YouTube video and say that, oh, this guy said it's not going to go up anywhere. No, I'm saying that there's a good chance that this makes that move. And we don't know if it's going to start from here. If they come to the low, make one more up and then do it. Or if they come to this low, make one more up and then do it. Or if they come to this low, make one more up and then do it. But here's what. Every time you take that trade, you take profit. But when you break here, you want to be in the sell. Because when it breaks, it's going to fall pretty hard. And if you're not in, you're going to miss the whole move, right? You're at the top. Listen, you know what the big traders always tell you? You sell at the top and you buy at the bottom. Where in this thing is the bottom? These are the bottoms. These are the tops. So you're at the top right now. Right? Look for a sell. That's common sense. The problem is most traders don't know what a top looks like and when they should look for a sell at the top. That's the problem. It's easy to say buy at the bottom and sell at the top, right? But it's hard to identify where that top and bottom is in the charts. And that is where wave analysis comes in, right? So watch this trade here. This one is going down and you have another sell. We keep watching it as it comes to the trend line, and we put it in the daily. Watch this as it comes to the, this is pretty much what I'm saying could happen to Nifty, right? See, once we broke that top, down here, you have one more trade to the bottom there. And if they break this, you're coming back to this level. Right? If they break out of that trend, you're coming back to a much, much lower level. But for now, this is your next trade. Not a bad trade. If you trade this, that's a very good trade. S&P 500, it's turning. It's making a top now. You can see it very clearly. See what they did here? And then they came down. We thought this was a drop. It turns out to be a correction. We said, okay, that's a correction. Look for one more. This could come here. If this come back here as a correction, then we'll get one more. If they drop through this, you could get a very, very sharp drop. So watch this piece here. Let me make it bigger so you can see. Watch this piece here. If this keeps pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, you're going to be careful with the buys. But if this drop, first you watch the trend line, and then if they break that trend line, you want to keep that thing. Because it could drop very fast, right? To the upside, you're at the top. That's the whole point. You're at a very, very, very high top. See that? You know when you should have been buying to that top? Let me see if I can show you the chart when you should have been buying for that top. I think I should have the chart. See? This is when you should be buying, from this level. Not now. Now you should be looking for sells. See? When it was here, consolidated for 6-10 months, and then it's going to go right up to that level. See that level there? That's the level we showed. See where it is? You buy at the bottom, you start looking for sells at the top. See that? That's it. That's the whole thing. So now what you look for? Sells, because every time they go up like that, they pull back. They pull back. What do you expect them to do here? And if you're lucky, this is going to be like that, up like this, and then start another climb. That is 1, 2, 3. So what you should look for at the top there? Look for sell setups. This thing is actually setting up for a fall. Look for that fall. Let's go. Cat Swiss. Nobody trades this. Forget it. Some of my traders trade this. It's a little, it's a little difficult to trade, but once you get a handle of it, you know what to do. It's probably going to go up some more. Keep your eyes on that. For those, I'll just run through these very fast. These are the exotic ones. We have traders who trade them. See, this one, it's making some kind of a consolidation here, kind of a bigger consolidation. We'll eventually break through all this stuff, right? So I think you're going to watch this to go up one more. Looks like this is actually setting up for one more. If they break out, take the trade. To the downside, you can't trade it as yet. Turkish lira also, this has a very short-term trade downside. It has a long-term trade upside. This whole pattern here, break upside. Look for that trade. Singaporean, let's see what this is doing. Okay, we may have found a bottom here now. Let me just show you. I think a lot of people ask me for this one already very often, right? We're looking at this piece here, what they were doing in there, and then we bring it to the daily. Let's go to the daily. That thing is like a big correction, but you notice what happened here? They were, take this out so you let that doesn't confuse you. You can be looking at a 1, 2, 3 here, right? We're at the bottom, so they will pull back to the top, and if the pullback is slow, they're going to make more downside, but if they break this, they can go. So you put it in a 4-hour and you see what you have here. Looks like you're getting a move to the upside. That is a consolidation, something like this. And if they make something like that, you'll get one down. If you're lucky, they'll take off like that, and then you get a bigger trade to the upside. So you want to look for a buy setup right now as it is. It's making one. Right, look for a buy setup, wait for a flag to come back, and then buy it. You don't want to buy it right where it is now, but probably wait for the flag. If they make a flag down here, they're going to go one more up. Mexican peso, what is this doing? Kind of going up too, but not very aggressive. Let me put it in the daily so you can see that. This one may be getting a buy setup, but you'll have to wait for this to probably drop one more here first. If you're going to go up, you'll have to wait. Let me show you in the 4-hour what you wait for a corrective structure outside of that. It looks more downside. This actually looks more downside here. Short term, one more drop and then upside. If they consolidate above here, well, then you can start to buy. But this doesn't look, this looks mostly downside. I'll probably be looking for the downside. Right? Silver, I just showed the silver trade, so you can watch the recording. You'll probably get it. Let's see. Somebody wanted the rubles. Let's see the ruble is doing. Watch it. Remember, I said you want to watch it for a sell. I think last week it was at the top. I don't know if you get the sell. If not, you may get a sell set up here. So keep your eyes. It's not long term. It's actually going sideways. Kind of looking sideways if you look at the daily, right? If this comes back here, if this piece comes back here and start to turn up, this would be big time upside. If they tag the low, and I think they should tag the low, then upside, right? Because we're expecting a big move up. It's just whether they're going to tag the low first before they go or not. Okay, let's see what else we have here that may be interested for everybody. Somebody was asking to do this one. Dow Jones Industrial. This thing is stretching. And this is a common sign when they start to stretch it to the top that they're going to drop it very hard. Let's look at that in a weekly and you will see what I mean. See how this thing was going? Like slow, down, down. You know, it was doing its thing here. And then they start to stretch this, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, and then it will drop like that. So as they're stretching it, you can buy. If you're in the buy, you want to stay in the buy when it starts to stretch because the last move up might be a very sharp spike. Very often they spike this up before they when I said spike, they'll reverse it pretty fast. And then you start look for sell setups. It's very possible. So you got to be careful, right? Because they'll spike it and drop it back. Let's go. What else? Bitcoin. Everybody wants Bitcoin. Bitcoin made a correction. It's going up. Like I said, watch the corrections. It made a new high. Be careful. Start taking profit. If it makes new high, take profit. Every time it makes a new high, take profit. Wait for a correction. Buy again. Take profit. Once you're above the high, because once you're above the high, it's time they're going to drop. Right? This thing can't go up forever. The only reason this is going up is because there are more new buyers coming into the market. And if you understand that concept of something gaining value just because more buyers are coming into it, and the new buyers are paying the old buyers, and the new buyers will continue to pay the old buyers until there is no more new buyer. And then there's nobody to pay anybody, and then you get boom. And then the people who are smart are out, and the people who are not so smart are going to be crying because they're going to lose everything. And there's no way they're going to get it. So I don't know who keeps saying that this thing, I mean, I know a lot of people are pushing behind it. They have their own reasons to. You can trade it. I don't say you can't trade it. I'm not saying you can't. I say you shouldn't. You can trade it, but unless you understand the risk and you're able to take out money very fast out of it, and understand, or you're willing to lose whatever you have, well, then it's good. It's making you fast money, right? But as you would understand, I think it may take some time, and then everybody will catch themselves, and they're going to, darn, look how many of us bought. Just imagine how many people are buying now to push that price up, right? It's like a bidding on the price, and people are trying to bid above each other, right? Well, the dumbest money are going to come in at the very top. The very dumb traders are going to be the ones who will be buying at the very top. And then when it drops, they will all be screening. They'll screen all hell. But what happened? Man, that thing was going up. I thought it was going to go to 10,000, and I bought some, and damn, it dropped. Right? So, because what else? What is the reason for it to go up? Right? So, yep, we'll take some questions. Let me I'll probably stop the recording. We don't want all of that in the thing. Let me record this piece. I wanted to show you guys why you're going to probably get out of it. I think I have the Ethereum one too. Let me see. There's a new one. Let me see. Yep, there are many new ones. They're coming out like very often. Yep, this you can get some more upside. You see they're broke. This one will probably is a good buy because this one will go test the top. So this one hasn't broken the top as yet. You can look for buy setups. You can see that. They broke. They make a flag here. If you're looking for a post I made, look for this and then go up there, right? It's probably going to come break this top and then down. Well, I'm not saying exactly at this point. I'm saying watch how it goes up. But you can look for buy setups if you understand how this works. Right? So watch this, right? It could probably go test that top, so you may want to keep an eye on it. Okay, so I promise you I'll explain why you don't want to stay with a trade for a long time. So let me see if I can bring that demonstration very fast, and then I'll probably bring it more to new one. So let's say you're in a trend. You got to move, you make a flag, you get a buy, you make a flag, you get a buy, you make a flag, you get a buy, and then they make another flag. And well, you decide it's going to be a buy, which is natural. So you take the buy here, you got caught in the buy here, and then it make like that and it starts to pull back. This may be the reversal sign that you're looking for, right? So it starts to pull back. If you took this buy here, if you took a buy there, you should have a stop here. Or you should get out of that thing there. Because if you don't get out of it there, what is going to happen to you is this thing will probably make a small consolidation drop, small consolidation drop. And where is your stop? Where would you come out of the trade? That's the problem. When your account is blown up, that's when you're going to get out of the trade, when you have no money in the account, because you cannot bring yourself to put a stop to that trade anymore. You're living in the hopes that it's going to go back up. And if you have no idea how structures work, you don't even know whether that is going to happen. Right? If you're not very good at structure, you have no idea whether that is going to happen. You're living in hopes. If you're pretty good at structure, you may be able to say, okay, I can see this structure. There's a possibility for it to go, so I'll wait. Or I can see this structure is never going to go. I'll cut the losses. But you can't do that. 99% of traders cannot do that. They just don't understand what's happening. and they're living in hopes that it should go back up. Now, what if you cut the trade here? Here's what their fear is. What if it comes here, stop me out and start to go back up? That's their biggest fear. And my answer to that is always, so what? If you get another buy entry, get in the trade immediately. If you don't get another buy entry, then let it go. That's just one trade. And if you're a trader, no one trade should break your account. No 10 losses should break your account. No 20 losses should break your account. Let's think of yourself as a store manager. And just because you bought a container of mangoes and they all spoil, what do? You break, your shop goes bankrupt? No, you just throw that container away and get another container of mangoes. Because your shop doesn't depend only on mangoes. Your shop is not running on selling mangoes only, right? You're running a shop that mango is probably 1% of your product that you have inside, 1% of the cost. So if you trade like that, one bad trade is just 1% of your account, maybe less. You don't, that should never bother you, especially if you have 4 other successful trades going. That should never be an issue, right? And in anything you do, it's a business, right? You're going to get losses. Anything you do, you're going to get losses. That's part of wave analogy. You're going to get up and down. It's not going to go in a straight line. You're never going to win all the trade, no matter how good you are. You're going to have losing trades, and you just have to accept that as part of the business. Treat it like a business. If you're treating this like a lottery, which is what most traders do, I'm going to buy the ticket and I am going to either win or lose. And then you spend all your money to buy tickets. You don't buy one lottery ticket. You go and buy 100 or 1,000 of them with the last $1,000 you have in your pocket. And then what happens? Boom. None of them won and you're out of the game. You're no longer there. If you're putting all your risk on one trade, you can either double it or you can break it. And that's just luck. You're lucky, you double it. You're unlucky, you break it. And that's it. It's over. You should treat trading as a business, and that is why you need capital. You need a lot of capital. The more, the better. And I can safely say that now, that the more capital you have, the easier it is to trade. Well, why? Because I know I'm trading like that now. I'm trading very huge capitals, and I can tell you it's a joyride. When you understand the market and you have that size of capital to trade, you go to sleep very nice and you wake up very easy. You're never worried about the market anymore because the market can't break you. I'm very serious. The market can't break you no matter what happens in the market. When you have that size of capital, you're like, okay, let's go. Right? That is an amazing thing. It really shows you the different type of trading. And by the way, while I was in Dubai, I met a friend of mine knows somebody who is actually running a brokerage. He's working with a brokerage, but he's literally running it. And we were having a conversation, and the guy was like, okay, what percentage of your traders lose? He was, well, the saying is 90. He said it's way over 90. So the next question to him, well, do you actually pass the trades over to the liquidity provider? And he was like, well, not unless they have $1 million account. And the only reason we pass over the $1 million accounts or the $500,000 accounts over there is not because we think he might win, but we don't want to hold that risk. You have a $10,000 account, your trades aren't going anywhere. One, if you win, he can pay you. But remember, he just told us more than 90% of their traders are losing, right? So he has the stats in front of him. He's running the brokerage, and he looked at it and said, wow, 90% of these guys are losing the crap. So why don't I just keep the trade and take the money, right? It's just a logic any broker is going to use. And I think most brokers do that. It's not that they're trying to manipulate the market. They're not trying. He doesn't even trade in the market. He's not trying to move the market anywhere. He's not influencing whether you win or lose. He just watches you lose everything and he collects it. It's that simple, right? He's like just watching you lose and he gets it. And if you win, he can pay you. He has enough money to pay you. So he says, once we don't lose $20,000 a day paying out brokers, we're okay. Paying out traders, we're okay, right? So he doesn't have to do anything. You are doing it for him. And he says the only thing is if they have a really big account, we pass it over because if they lose or win, that's big risk for our brokerage. And that's the only reason we give that to liquidity provider. So you can be sure that if you're holding a $1,000, a $5,000, a $10,000, a $15,000 account, the brokers are keeping every single one of your trade. And he's not trading against you. Don't get it wrong. It's not like he's trading against you. He's trying to move the market. No, he doesn't. He really does. They really don't do that. You will do that. You will just lose your account to him. That's basic. That's the basic stats are showing, right? So remember, if you trade safely and you trade small and you're winning, what the broker is going to do after a certain time, when he sees you make 2 or 3 successful months, he's going to put your trades over to the liquidity provider, whether they're small or big, he doesn't care. He's going to move them there because then you're actually affecting his business, right? So better be a successful winning trader, and then you go to the A book, and then you don't have to worry about the broker moving. The only advantage the broker has in stopping you out is if that trade comes too close to your stop losses, 2, 3, 4 pips to your stop losses, then he can help you there by widening the spread. I think that's the only advantage they have. They can widen the spread. They don't literally move the market. Unless they're very, very, very wicked, they can create a spike. That doesn't exist. But I don't think they really do that because it's risky and, they can end up in big trouble for that. Depends on who and what trading is going on there. But basically, they just watch you lose your account. And I asked him, I said, what are most of the traders trading? He doesn't know exactly what they're trading, what are their strategies, but he thinks most of them are trading support and resistance, basically because of where they put their stops and where they're entering trades. Right? Basically because of some area that is broken, and then they get into a trade, and then they put a stop where that resistance should be or whatever they're looking for. I don't know what they see in the market. So don't blame the broker, blame yourself. You have to learn to do this. This is a skill. This is a very, very high risky business. And if you're not willing to learn, the easy way, which is you go and get yourself some good mentorship and understand how to do this the right way, then you're going to pay the broker, right? So learn to trade. For those who want the course, let me tell you how we structure it. I'm going to do this very fast in 3 minutes, and then I go. This is how we structure the course. We have a group, and everybody in the group has access to everything we have in the group, which is recording, daily webinars we do. It's a trading room that works something like this, but all the traders are active in it, which means all the traders can share their screen. They can explain what they see in the charts. They can decide whether it's a good trade and take the trade. The course itself is 6 weeks. I do the first week. I give you all the theoretical and I showed you how it works. Then you go for 1 or 2 weeks of practice. We are trying to cut it down to 1 week by taking more trainers, making the group smaller, which means you get into very small groups of 5, 6, 10, 15 people. Depends on the size of the whole course. You get into those small groups and you practice what I just showed you the first week. And then you get another week of theory, and then you do that for 2 more weeks, and then you get to do all of that with me. Every one of you get a half an hour to do that with me. And then for the rest of your life in this group, you get to repeat that with me as much as you want. Because every now and then we do a special class, which is I looked at where traders are getting difficulties, and then I'll do a special class for them. Right? We'll talk about that. And remember, every day I go into that trading room at least once, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times, depends on my availability. I'll go in the trading room and we would look at trades, and then when there's no trade going on or where we are already in trades that we're managing, we will discuss different things that traders have questions. I'll take questions from them all the time. Basically, you're here for a lifetime. It's free. After you taken the course, you don't have to pay for the trading room. You don't have to pay for anything else after that. So the rest of the time you can relax and learn. And we're going to hold your hands through. So what we do is every now and then we take a poll on our traders. And this morning we took a poll. Only 16% of our traders did not make money last week. The rest of them made money. And I think 25% of them made more than 5%. So what we do is I told those 16% to give me a message, a private message, and I will do a one-on-one with each one of them to make sure to see where they're getting mistakes, where they're struggling, to make sure that they can succeed. And every couple months, every 2 months, I think I'll be repeating that. until we can get all of them on board. Now, we're not naive. 16% is not bad. Most, as you remember, I just said that broker said 90% of their traders are losing money. So if only 16% of our traders are struggling, I think that's not very bad statistics, but I would like to bring that down to 0. Can I do that? I don't know, but I'll give it my best try. I'll give it all the available time I have, and I'll give it my best try to get those 60. I think the previous poll we did was 15% who didn't make money, and this one is 16. So I think it's plus or minus 2 or 3 people. So I'll try to get them. It's not necessarily the same people too. I'll try to get all those people into profit as soon as I can, and we have an entire group to help me do that. See, that's what you get when you join us. It's not only the course material. It's not only the theoretical stuff. It's much more. It's being with a group of amazing traders. And then every now and then when I travel the country, you get to meet me and we have lunch and we have a wonderful time. Like the guys in Dubai, we had a wonderful time there. So that's, you can make your call. You want to join a wonderful group, one group that is going to be the best trading group in the world very soon. I don't know if we are the best. I hope we are the best, but we will eventually get there. You can watch this week's recording will be out for those who missed it. So don't worry. I'll post this. I'll record this and post it out. So any more questions? Let's go. So what is the difference between a contracting flatten or irregular type 2? We don't teach that here. You know, please, let's not go into that. That takes more time. It's not as simple as it looks. How will you send out the course payment? Skype me and you'll get it on Skype. Hope you can analyze CHF TND dinars. Okay, we will try it. We'll try it next time for you. If it happens to buy a stock, do you look at the company sheet or no? We only look at the charts. We're looking at the charts to figure out the direction it's going to go. We're looking at here's the thing. If a company is having difficulty in their business, it will reflect in the charts. If a company is successful, it will reflect in the charts. You look at the charts, and if you can read it correctly, you will see it. That simple. You don't have to. You go to the doctor, he doesn't really cut you and look what's happening with your heart inside, right? He first do some test, and then he makes a decision whether what's the problem inside. So that's it. Any more questions besides sugar? Somebody keep typing sugar all the time. I would like to, okay, thanks. That's okay. Thank you for thanking me. Let's see. I'm sorry that you. Oh, I'm not sorry that I'm banned from TradingView. Actually, my life has become much better since I'm not on TradingView. Something you guys will learn a little later. What I mean by that. It has become amazingly better. I'm doing things that I probably wanted to do, but I wasn't getting to do it before. Like, yes, like managing the huge sums of money now. That's what I do now. And I'm going to get more investors as well. And I'm talking with investors with 6 and 7 digits, not less. Into the higher 6 and 7 digits, not lower 6 digits, higher 6 digits. That is something I didn't find the time to do while I was on TradingView. Too busy fighting with crazy trolls and trying to tell those guys to stop scamming people and all of that kind of stuff. It's gone. I don't have time for that anymore now. Moving on to better things. By the way, very soon we should have a chart. Somebody is preparing a wonderful charting package for you guys. In a month or 2, you should have it out. And that is going to be the best charting package because all the mistakes that TradingView make is corrected there. So you guys would have a wonderful one. I hope he can give you guys for a month or 2 free to test it. And then after that, you should, you have to pay them because they're spending money to create that. My visit to South Africa, that's definitely not in the plans. So there's a plan for India and China. South Africa is not in the plan so fast. No, not in Saxo. It's going to be a trading platform, something similar to what like the types of TradingView and those other platforms of that type. But it's going to be much more better. It's going to be controlled better. It's going to be better. But it's going to come out. You guys will get it. You'll have enough time to give all your whatever you want there. What I want you guys to do is to share the link to these webinars so that people who are not getting it could eventually find it. I don't know what's taking them so long, but they'll find it. And there's still many people like the first timers here. I'm pretty sure they're happy they're here the first time. If you're a first timer, did you enjoy it? Give me a yes if you're a first time in the webinar and you think it's worth the deal coming. So you see, we got 2 first timers who are happy about it. 3. So sure, if you guys share it and invite somebody, I think they will be happy about it. They'll probably tell you thank you for it. Right? You can also share the YouTube link itself. You know, if you're in LinkedIn and different groups or so, you can share it there. There are a lot of people who, you know, in the same group, somewhere else on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, a trader, he will see you share it and he'll get it and he'll be happy about it. So thank you for coming, everybody. You guys are great. Trade with care, make some money this week. I'll have to run a poll with you guys, see how many of you are making money next week. I'll do that, right? There were some really nice trade setups. Don't miss them. And I would see all of you next week. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.